all the sailors there were all lined up in their dress whites, and everybody's standing at attention out there. The officers come down. Everybody stands there and salutes. And see it. Okay. But there was about 5 or 6 ships, more than that. Number of destroyers, cruisers, one battleship. And it was really great to look out there and see all that firepower.
Where were you?
Oh Christ, where was
Were you in Tokyo Bay?
I? No, it was in a bay. It was called. It was a different name than Tokyo Bay. Though. It was close. That was the name of it. I remember it's terrible.
Well, what happened after the officers came out?
Well, I think most of the crew on Earth they gave him the finger.
No, wait a minute. Whose officers came out now?
The one on the other ship.
Oh, okay. The Japanese officers.
No, the Americans too.
Oh.
We weren't particular.
You gave them all the finger.
Yeah.
Can I tell you a joke?
It was fun.
And then what happened?
What do you mean with that?
Well, the officers came out and tell me about the ceremony.
Oh no. That was all I can remember of it. The ceremony was there was somebody down there, not on our ship, on the one below. He came out and gave a fairly long speech, and it was on loudspeaker, so we could hear it. About how great it was, how fine as sailors everybody was, what a great war we'd had, and what a fine job, all that BS that you get and speak on things like that. And then I remember after it was all over with, there was one sailor on our ship, turned around, put his butt over the side, lowered his pants, and gave him the evil eye. And nobody did anything to him either. I was surprised.
So people had a sense of humor on that day.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I was surprised he wasn't in the brig.
Now, backing up just 2 weeks, no, a little bit more than that, back up to August 6th and Hiroshima. Tell me where you were. Tell me your reaction to it. What was going on?
Hiroshima, where was that?
That was in Japan
When they dropped the bomb.
Yeah, I know where was that. How was it? That's the problem. I can't. My memory's gone. But there was something important going on. I remember that.
Were you at sea most of the time then during World War II?
Oh God, yeah. Months and months without ever seeing land. We went something like 6 months without ever getting off ship one time.
What was your job aboard the ship?
I was a carpenter, and the virtually no job. Well, it's not true. The first ship I was on, it had wooden decks, teak, if you can imagine, big planks like so. And every time we got strafed, they'd just tear up that, and they used teak back then because it didn't splinter.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't bother the sailors that had to be on the deck. Anyway, our job was to go down there, cut these big planks out where they'd been strafed, replace them, caulk them, and that's it. Then the biggest job, the bow of the Shangri-La's there. Shangri-La. There's about 6, 7 feet of it blown off. And man, that was a job. We had to get in. Water was coming in. Pumps were going full blast. We had to go down there and shore that thing up with the seas coming in. It was really a job. We had used all the 2x and got the 2x up. Then we had to, I didn't thank goodness, somebody had to go at the side to the bow or the stern, which is heavy plastic sheets over that. So the water, you couldn't put it on the inside because it would blow right back out. So I had to put it on the front. That was a big damn job.
Put the plastic on the outside, and the
Yeah.
water pressure would force it against the.
Yeah.
And you closed the hole using wood.
All wood, all 2x4s, 2x6s.
You must have had one heck of a supply of wood on that ship.
We had a big supply of lumber on that ship, big supply.
And the airplanes would land on a teak deck.
Yep.
I'll be darned.
After the next ship I was on, it was a steel deck. So I didn't have a damn thing to do. I said build storage sheds for officers.
Of course.
That was our big thing to do.
You probably came in great demand to build lockers.
Yep, we made a lot of them. A lot of valuable wood for those.
I remember, Tony, that during World War II, and I was 9 years old at that time, but I remember, okay? I remember all of World War II.
Well, tell me what you remember of Hiroshima.
I wasn't at Hiroshima,
I know you weren't.
but I remember when they bombed that, and I asked my mother, my dad was in Hawaii, and he was in the Navy. Actually, he was in the Seabeesville Navy. And my mom said, we were listening to the radio because we didn't have television back then and that. But they brought it on the news and said that they had bombed Hiroshima. And I said, what did they do with all those people, Mom? There's a lot of people there that didn't do anything to anybody. And she says, I don't know, she says, but that is one of the perils of war, she said. And I remember that. I had my tonsils taken out when I was 9 years old. Okay? My dad was overseas and that. And what's funny is I went to Presbyterian Hospital now when I had my heart attack. That when I had my tonsils taken out, I had them taken out at Presbyterian Hospital.
The same hospital.
Same hospital. And the doctor was Dr. Hannett. I remember he was a chubby little man. And that.
What do you remember about December 7th, 1941?
When they declared war on Japan?
Yes.
I remember that Roosevelt got on the radio and he said, and I can almost hear him, but I can't really remember every little thing he said, but I remember he said that the United States has gone to war. And my dad wasn't in the service at the time. He joined later on that.
So that would have made you 5 years old?
Yeah. I was born in 1936, so that was in 41.
Right.
Yeah, I would have been,
5 years old. Roger, what do you remember about Pearl Harbor?
Very little, unfortunately, except I was trying to think where I was. I don't even know where I was living then.
Were you in college?
Yeah, I was living in Tucson. I had a year and a half at the university. That's when war broke out. Yeah.
Do you remember the announcement of the beginning of the war?
Yes, I do.
Tell me about it.
All I remember is this said, war, the Japanese have hit Pearl Harbor and done extensive damage to our Navy. And boy, did they do a lot of damage to it. I saw that later. All the damn ships on their sides and on their top, they hadn't sunk.
You mean you went to Pearl Harbor in the Navy and you saw this?
Yeah. It was probably 4 or 5 months after they hit it.
Roger was
What a
20 years
terrible-
old then.
A terrible mess.
That
Went to
year.
shore. Went to shore. It was a small town back then. It wasn't. I think there was one. It wasn't even a skyscraper,
Right.
but there wasn't anything left of it. You go in there, get off the. We went in on what in motorboats anchored off
Uh-huh.
the coast there, and get in there on the shore, just devastated. Everything was just flattened. Nothing to see except destruction.
So you went into the Navy immediately following the beginning of the war.
I'm sorry?
The war started and you went right into the Navy.
You were 20 years old when the war started,
Yeah,
Roger.
yeah. I was 21 when in the Navy.
He signed up with the British. He signed up
Yeah.
with the British Air Force.
My dad found out about
His,
it. They gave him raise hell.
So you signed up with the RAF.
Yeah.
And they were ready to take you because you could.
I was alive. They would take me. I tried to sign up. I wanted to be in the Air Force.
Uh-huh.
And I'm glad I didn't afterwards. But I went down to the U.S. American recruiting station. I was a nice, healthy looking man. They opened my mouth and had an overbite. I said I couldn't hold a oxygen tube. So I think they're full of crap. I had no doubt. No, I had to do it later after I was in the service. I had no trouble at all. But I'm probably much better. I probably wouldn't have been here if I had gone in the Air Force. I sure lost an awful lot of those people.
Yes.
tell him about your Air Force deal with joining the Air Force, the British Air Force. Tell him why you didn't end up in that.
I didn't end up because my dad come and got me.
I thought that was the funniest thing he
I don't
said.
even know how he found out about it.
I bet you Betty told him.
I don't know how. Man, but he was right there.